Hi beautifuls, welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover astrology and everything else I cover is above on the screen. Now, we don't like long intros, so my contacts are directly below, and how to book, what, where, why, how has been all left to the end. Those of you who have clicked the link, I do automate posts to keep you in the loop as when I'm coming live and where I'm going to be. So without further ado, let's get into the update and the real reason you're here. Enjoy. Grab a cuppa, sit back and relax. Love to hear your feedback. Hi, beautiful Gemini. We're here to do your psychic update. I have pulled the cards and I've sat with the energy, and already I'm getting a lot of downloads. Now, I do feel you guys are moving into the month of October with this higher consciousness, but it's almost like I'm feeling you're going to be quite susceptible to vibrations around you. It feels deeply reflective. I do feel your soul is coming through like it's having this deeper kind of perspective in situations, but I feel like it's almost like it feels foreign initially. It can feel a little bit disillusioned, but again, it's like an observation of a painting, and I feel it's because you're directly transforming. It's not really coming through as a negative read, point blank zero, but in the initial stages, it's a little bit like there is a rebirth happening for you, which does make sense astrologically. But at the same time, you're very reflective, and you can feel at a distance from individuals, even though I do feel this can be quite a social month for you. Take time to reflect and to see from a higher perspective. You got labradorite. I'm sensing that, and this was the one thing that was coming through, and I do have a fellow Gemini that I am directly connected to. She's one of my clients, and I touched base with her. Haven't heard back yet, but I said, hey, what's going on here? Because I do sense that you guys are in this portal at the moment, and it's not going to feel like this permanently. I do feel it's because we do have Mercury retrograde, and it's in your natal sign at the moment. Mercury is very Gemini in orientation. So your consciousness is expanding, number one. When we go through that vibration, especially because Libra is the scales, I do feel in all facets of your life, moving into the month of October, you're really trying to get that equilibrium. You're really trying to, you could be dragged into situations, but at the same time, I don't feel you're allowing it. I feel you're really stepping back and you're observing. But I do feel this reset button coming through for you guys. And the reset button does feel as though you are going to have this new beginning in all areas of life. But it's almost looking over your shoulder to say goodbye to the old. And as you're doing that, you can become accidentally very reminiscent, very reflective, maybe feeling a little bit disillusioned, but it's not permanent. What's coming is beautiful. Even if it's directly connected to the storyline that you're wanting to resolve, I really feel by becoming present and maybe just honoring that emotion that you need to feel is really going to serve you justice. Let's see what else. I feel there's almost this detachment, and my guides are showing me that it's very important for you in the month of October to detach of the outcome. And I feel that's what you're doing. And I feel when I it's almost like you don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're going. Are you going up? Are you going down? Are you going backwards? But it feels like a pause, but it's not a pause. It's a reflective sense. But I feel your intuition's going to be on fire. You may see things that other people aren't seeing. Don't try to convince them. Trust your instincts. Universe is giving all of us a 101 of a different perspective, which is beautiful. And I feel for your zodiac sign, this clarity is going to take you to this higher threshold, potentially in income. I do see some of you in the area of family can be having a little bit of a tough time, but I feel it's more that sense of belongingness and that sense of resolving situations. But the bigger plan, as per se, you're mapping it out, and I feel it's going to make more sense by mid-month, maybe due to the fact that Mercury's in retrograde, okay? But they're showing me almost like they're saying the 19th. The 19th, for some reason, for some of you, can be a very important date. This can be a transformative date. I don't know why they're making reference to it, but they're making reference to the 19th. Those of you currently in a connection. Now, I have pulled romance in this read, but I am going to be doing an additional read that hopefully will have an extension. So stay tuned and they'll be released shortly. with those of you who are in a connection right now, I feel point blank zero. A lot of what is coming through for your zodiac sign is a sense of self. And that sense of self is deeply important. So if you are weighing those scales, there could be a circumstance at the moment that you want to feel very accepted, and there can be crosswires and connections. And this loving yourself can sometimes mean that we can kind of chase people off. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can come through in a very high vibe vibration, but I feel due to the communication and the cross wires, your demeanor that is coming through is very quiet. And it's strange. It's not your vivacious self, Gemini, but I don't, again, think it's a permanent thing. I think it's due to some things that are played out. This may be over the last 3 to 4 months, and I feel like I'm hearing the term D-Day. It feels like D-Day, point blank zero, in your general life as well as your love. And this turning axis is really going to be going in your favour, even if it's looking pretty bleak right now. Please do trust it. I have gone through the transits very similar to you, and your zodiac sign is destined for blessings, and especially psychically speaking, I feel there could be almost a wall initially that people are putting up as we're reflecting, and it's that self-preservation analogy. The cross wires that are occurring here, it's, this can be towards yourself or towards the individual, and it's asking to make no judgment. Now, there can be something that is going on in the connection, and this can be, this has been coming up a lot psychically. Projection is the reflection. And by no means do I mean that to you, Gem, but it could be what is happening. But it's a term that has been coming up a lot in the last few weeks leading into the month of October. I feel somehow on a subconscious level, we're really unwiring some of the conditioning we've had. I also feel that within the connection, there might have been some cross wires. There also could have been hurt that occurred in the past. And it's like both parties here maybe are keeping each other at a distance, putting a brave face on, or if you're sensing something and you're feeling, it's almost like both parties are feeling they have to hold on to that scarred sense of self. And this can be secrets. It can be feeling as though the transparency isn't there. And again, through my coaching, the one unique thing I have learned, especially on my twin flame journey, is that you don't actually need to know everything. And I don't feel you have this, I feel it's almost the invasion is on your side, that they are feeling they need to know what's going on with you. And because you're standing back and you're just within your truth, you're doing spiritual work on yourself, I feel this individual doesn't understand what's going on, and there can be some cross wires. I also feel there's a little bit of insecurity, and this can be, again, as mentioned, due to a past situation. I do feel ultimately it's going to be resolved, but at the moment it's creating uncertainty. I'm going to pull a chakra card. I'm not getting a vibe that you're not saying anything though, Gemini. And when I say that, I don't feel there is a need to say anything, because I feel it's more happening at a psychological level over a physical 3D level. There may not be at this point anything to say because you're integrating. And because you are integrating and you're going through a soul transformation, I feel, initially things are just going to feel a little bit scattered, but they're going to make sense as we move forward. I'm also seeing some of you are reflecting upon the past. Yeah. Faith. Have faith. So it's the crown chakra. It can be your values. It can be where you're going. But it's also trusting. So I kind of feel that you are coming through the gate very non-pushy, accepting, maybe having a vibration coming up. But ultimately speaking, I do feel you're going left or right. Whatever this is meaning, this can be future tense. What they're showing me with the left or right, you're not going to be pushed into making any major decisions. That can be with plans within the connection, plans whether to stay or to go. Ultimately, it feels you're trying to do things in your life to make you happy. This may have been a time when you have had a very tight schedule, and it also may be a time where you are knowing that things are going to move very quickly. So it's like you're trying to put the right shoes on for the right direction. Are we going up a mountain? We had our trainers on. Are we going for a jog? Are we going to a corporate event? You're trying to pick the right hat, the right attire in order to deal with this effectively. So I don't feel in the first few weeks you're really going to be very open. And that's due to the fact that A, I don't feel that you are too fussed. B, and I don't feel that means directly relating to the love interest. I feel it's more at a level that you're accepting that something is changing. The pieces are going to come together as they will. But the conversation, I feel, will open up. There is a spiritual connection here. But again, you're having faith. Some of you do have an energy of a past person in the mix of things. And for those of you who that message resonates, it does feel this is a very confusing time. But I also feel you will be more ready. And again, they're making reference to, for you, the 17th. I don't know why they're mentioning the 17th. But I feel that's a date you need to be very cautious of. So be mindful if you are trying to repair a situation, get onto an equilibrium and assess these things. I feel as we move forward, it will make a lot more sense. At the minute, I do feel you put the part brake on. You're like, hold up, we don't know where we're going. We need to get the nav man. You're not wanting to be pressured. I do feel you're trying to nurture yourself, but you're also not going to sign into or co-sign anything that doesn't resonate with you. Those of you who are single are much in a similar situation. You do have a heavy heart at the moment. But there's a lot of stress that you are carrying. There's a lot that you had maybe been holding. And again, you've got vision and quest and it's in reverse. There's something of a fear-based frequency that you have coming up relating to romance at the moment. And again, it may be because the transits that your zodiac sign have been having are very challenging, but it's also a very personal transit as well. Now, I see for you guys in the sphere of love for singles. Now, be it this is spiritual connection and it's a soulmate or a twin flame, I'm seeing in this element of time, it can be where communication comes in. But I do feel it's almost it feels like you're putting a globe over you to hold people at bay. Because I feel at the moment the sensitivity through the nervous system is there and you're wanting some space. You're needing some space to reflect. There is, to a degree, a vibration where you're not wanting to face something. There is fear surrounding your heart. And the crazy thing is that while we have Mars in the house of Libra, we also have Mercury in Libra. So it's this inability to communicate effectively. It's maybe healthy boundaries. And you're also, all these stresses are coming to the forefront. But at the same time, I do feel this is a time when connections and communication can come in. But I do feel at the moment the way you're reacting to it, it's you want to know where you're going before you say yes or no. I feel this is also something to do with a major decision that you are about to make. But I do feel there's a lot of love here. This is a very deep connection. But there are some fears and worries. It might be due to the way that they had directly communicated with you, related to you, things that happened in the past. And I do feel, even from a reflective level, your thoughts relating to reconciliation, should that happen, or to be in a connection, you're not really wanting to have, you're wanting to have your own identity, but you're also not wanting to have to look over your shoulder. And that's what my guides are showing me. Now, those of you who are unemployed, I've got employed and unemployed here. We're going to cover all bases here, and we are going to do another extension, and that is going to be for your romance house, in-depth love. Okay, those of you seeking employment, I do feel at the moment it's almost like the writing's on the wall. This can be a time when it's really good to assess where you're at. You've got thunder drums, so this can be happening and I feel it's something like it's happening very quickly. I do feel you jumping into action. You may be extremely busy getting paperwork done. But I do feel, you begin to explore in reverse. Some of you are thinking that this could be a very tedious time, but also it could be, where do you start? That's what I'm hearing. If we're running on, oily fumes, we're not in a purposeful frequency. Some of you, it can be you're waiting on going back to an old employer. And that also can be due to the fact that Mercury is retrograde. Use the time between now and mid-month to assess it. But I just get this, it's almost like you're springing into action. And it's almost like feeling like you're cramming your homework. And I feel with this cramming of homework, it is going to come through, but don't leave it to the last hour. I do feel this is really a time to meditate between now and the middle of the month. Things are going to look like they make more sense by the second week. I do feel some of you are feeling backed into a corner, but again, it can physically be that you don't want any drama with people around you. You can be highly susceptible at this point with what is happening. But this could also come in extremely quickly. This, for some of you, may be an offer that you just didn't expect. Some of you may have not even got your resume out. Somebody may directly approach you or contact you. And I feel this is where potentially it's like going back to an old thing, but actually having an offer from somebody that knows you already. But I do feel it's almost like my guides are showing me that there could be this emergency situation, feeling you need to get on it as soon as possible. Now, those of you who are employed, I feel you're trying to be extremely decisive in a very difficult time, but I do feel it's going to go in your favour. I feel some of these things, you know, skipping to your own beat and knowing that you're not just doing something for the element of fun, for the element of money, you're actually doing it because you're passionate. And I feel if you're not passionate, I do feel there's some soul synchronicities coming through to give you messages, but it is asking you to be extremely decisive. If this is something that you have been thinking about for 6 months, for instance, regardless of Mercury retrograde, I feel the writing's on the wall. So it's asking you to be extremely decisive, but also to skip to the beat of your own heart. Money throughout the month for all. Whatever you're moving towards, it's asking you to claim your art. Now, again, we can look at the placement of Mercury, and with the Freedom Horse, whatever you're doing, it's very purposeful. This can be tying up loose ends, paying bills. I also feel any projects, if you have been working on projects, really stepping into the element of who you are between now and mid-month. I do feel this, it's almost like a change in direction. So if you're in a current place of employment, this can also be, and I am hearing that if you were having conflict with somebody at work, that can be coming up for reassessment too. So just be really wary of the people around you. But regardless, I'm seeing success. I also feel something that you had put on the back burner is coming back. There's this gift that you have coming through, and I do feel there is going to be some people around you that may be turned towards you. And as I mentioned, you know, it's through your experience in life that you're healing people around you accidentally. I do feel there's a person, maybe that kind of let you down. Now, yes, this could be a romantic interest. It could be a current partner or a friend, but whomever this energy is, and I feel it could be more than one potentially this month, Gemini. It's asking you to really put yourself in the perspective of loving yourself, but also to understand that we have all walked in some shape or form in another's shoes. And I feel you're going to be understanding, but this is really bridging the gap. This is going to help both parties to actually, you know, articulate and express. This is somebody that you have shared things with. I do feel it could be that a person surrounding you or this individual has lost somebody. But I feel you have the soothing words, but because you have been through a similar circumstance, it's like there's a joining energy. There's a similar circumstance here. I feel this is going to help actually bind the gap and to reconcile this energy. I have a vibe that you may be a little bit reluctant at first. For some of you, this can be something that directly happened to you, and this can be the reason why you're very quiet and wanting to really step back. For others of you, it can be that you are maybe taken back, you know, by something that has happened during the month and really needing to meditate upon it. But there is going to be healing between a group energy and or even with the love interest. Now, they're making reference to something mirroring. I do feel in your health domain, and it just jumped on the floor. What am I sensing? I'm sensing there can be something with family coming up, and this is starting to make a lot more sense now. For some of you, there may have been a circumstance surrounding your family, and this could be an old energy, or it might be something quite new. I feel after a circumstance has happened, you really don't know what to do, and it's asking you to take some time. This can also relate to the 17th, and as I mentioned, the 19th. It could be an anniversary date. I do feel it's to do with how to bridge the gap. But also some of you may be thinking about location. I just keep hearing you wanting some time for yourself. You don't want to deal with the drama, but there's a lot of reflection. It's really going over old ground. For those of you, if you're going through a hard time, I do feel if you did a while ago have a relative pass over, I feel this relative's energy, and it does feel like a male energy. I feel this relative's energy around you, and it's like it's coming back psychically where they're there to help you, but it's not directly relating to that situation. It feels because there's something else going on. We almost go towards those memories of where we felt most nurtured, or potentially even where we felt we could have done so much more. I feel this individual is supporting you and guiding you, especially with the rest of the tribe that is in your life. And I also feel for some of you, there may be some news coming from a child. This can be an adult child, a family member. It feels a feminine energy. They may have been going through a hard time, but I do feel this positive news from this individual. One last card. Overall for Gemini, please. Yeah, do the meditation. Please meditate. It's asking you to not get disillusioned. But to know that, you know, that I feel you ultimately know whatever is going down, it's almost like pushing the reset button. By pushing the reset button, there's healing. There is love coming. There's definitely going to be more of a balance in love. But I just get the sense that you're really wanting to change direction in all shapes and form. And I feel by that of what you shift your focus onto is that of what you're going to manifest. I do feel overall this is a very positive month for you. But there is this quietness and this retreat back. And I feel you really need to be careful about pushing people away. Take the time, meditate upon it, love and light. I'll see you during the month. Thanks for joining YILDIZ Readings. If you do need to find the link for the Members Hub, it is directly below in the information box, or you can see above on the screen, it's on the main page. Now we have 3 tier levels, as well as on Fridays, we are live on the main platform. By clicking the bell, I automate posts for both the members and the main page, plus any additional information I feel you need. The website is been updated and we do have a lot more content on it, as well as new products coming in 2022. If you do want to join webinars, we have the list, as well as the launch of the Age of Aquarius with the VIP list. For all my other media content, follow me live on the links below. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, we all have it covered, and we have more content coming. See you during the week.